199 Angkor, the Temple of Angkor Wat, and the city of Angkor Thom from Cambodia during the Angkor Dynasty, 800 to 1400 CE is when these were made, and they're stone, masonry, and sandstone. I'm going to cover these three first, which is a whole kind of separate place from these three. And so you'll have one function for all of them, but context, form, and content is going to be different. So first, we're going to start with context. And for both of these, Hinduism moved from India into Cambodia. Buddhism followed Hinduism from India into Cambodia. So the context here for Angkor Wat is that it is a city temple. It was made by King Suryavarman II, the protector of the sun, he calls himself. He had it built. And at first, partially it's a mausoleum for him, so he's buried there. It faces west, and so that's the direction of death. But it is made as a temple for Vishnu. 300,000 workers worked 30 years on it. And King Suryavarman wanted to show his people that he had the protection and the power of the gods behind him. So he built this temple as like the biggest one in the universe for actually, and it is the biggest religious structure in the world, or grounds in the world. And he wanted to have this be the place where Vishnu would live. So it's not a worship place for anybody coming in who wants to worship Vishnu. Instead, this is a home for Vishnu. It is a political statement that he built this. The form of it is that it has, just like the Lakshmana temple, it has towers here, and we've got 5 towers representing the peaks of Mount Meru, the home of the Hindu gods. And then around the those 5 pillars around the outside here, there is a moat, a massive moat, and that represents that the home of the Hindu gods, Mount Meru, has got oceans around it. So that sets it off. In terms of form, this is built on an east to west axis, the axis mundi. It's a cosmic axis that connects the earth to the gods, the home of the gods. It aligns with the planets, and it shows that the Angkor king is central to the earth. And in addition, I'm going to talk later about the mandala. So there's its axis mundi going east to west. And here you see it going east to west. Then there is this image associated with Angkor Wat, and it is, in terms of form, a bas relief. It is a carving then that's not very deep. That's what bas means. And it is 1,200 meters square. This is what it looks like in real life. Oh my God. And it tells the story of the churning of the ocean milk, which is an origin story for the Hindu faith. And it goes like this, that there's this elixir that brings about immortality, and you can either have the gods get it or you can have the demons get it. But they have to both work together in order to make it available. So for 1,000 years, the gods on this side and the demons on this side have to do something like a tug of war. Like they have to churn this Mount Mandara. And so they're churning and churning for 1,000 years. And what they use to churn or to kind of turn that center mountain, like what they use for this tug of war, is it's a serpent called Naga. And so here's the serpent. And when they get the elixir free, this Vedic god named Indra would come, it's the king of all gods, would come down and catch the elixir. And he did. So the demons lost, the gods won. And the representation of Mount Mandara is here. This is Vishnu representing that mountain. And this is seeing it in three different, there's lots and lots and lots of different renditions of the churning of the ocean milk in the Hindu faith. So I want to tell you now about these three pieces. So that was Angkor Wat with the churning of the gods and that diagram. This is after King Suryavarman II's death, after his death, a long way after his death, another dude came to power in the Angkor dynasty, and that's Jairavarman VII. Now, we think that he wasn't Hindu. We think that he was Buddhist, which had moved into Cambodia since the building of Angkor Wat. So now we're going to see these three down here. Contextually, this is the city of Angkor Thom. Now, the reason why these are together in the College Board is that here's Angkor Wat, right? This temple to Vishnu. But 2 kilometers away, within quick walking distance, is Angkor Thom, which is a city. It's called the Great Kingdom. It's a city for the Angkor dynasty. And the idea is every leader to the Angkor dynasty has to say, hey, I'm the new leader and I'm going to build something even bigger than somebody before me. So King Jairavarman is going to outshine King Suryavarman. So let's see what King Jairavarman builds with Angkor Thom. So this is the city that he built right here. Google Earth vision, and it has 4 gates. So kind of that same Axis Mundi mandala design. Actually, it has 5 gates. I lied. This red line points to this victory gate, which is a secret gate that only the leader gets to use. This is his palace. So this isn't just a temple. This is a city, and he's got his palace in here too, and he gets to leave with that access. But all of the gates, so all 5, including the victory secret gate here, have this kind of entrance. And on one side of the street is these 54 gods, and this is our image. And then on the other side are 54 demons. And guess what they're doing? If you remember the churning of the milk. So 108 of these demons and gods figures in total at each of the gates. And this is what a gate looks like. This is the form of a gate. And each gate has 4 towers. And on the towers are the faces of what we think is the leader, Jairavarman VII, saying, hey, I'm really cool. I'm a great Buddhist guy. So I'm going to tell you just about this because I think it's right. So this is a theory that the gods and the demons are doing the same crouching here, pulling on the serpent Nara, and it's the churning of the milk idea. So here's the serpent, and here's the body of the serpent being held by these guys. You can see their hands. Oh, here you can see the hand, and you can see their legs are at this kind of squatting angle, churning the milk, the ocean of milk. One theorist says, nah, this is the rainbow bridge milk connecting man to the world of gods. But come on, look at that. I think it's the churning of the ocean of milk. And then also in terms of content, right in front of that churning of the ocean and milk line. So this is the street, and then it goes to this. Let me talk about that just a little bit more. That gate. So here's another close-up of those gates, and this is one of our images too. Jairavarman II, he's like covered in, or here he is as in his, we know this is him depicted in this statue. And so it looks like this is the same dude here, don't you think? And he likes to present himself, we think, as a devout and humble leader. And we know that he built rest houses and hospitals for people, and that he was probably a Buddhist follower more than he was a Hindu follower, but that he had people who were Hindu still. And so that's why he's got that whole churning of the ocean of milk at his gates too. And then in terms of content, the Lakshmana Temple, Angkor Wat, and Angkor Thom are all connected to the mandala idea and the axis mundi idea. So the axis mundi, see, they're all on this east-west line here. You can, this one's kind of an awkward picture, but this is our set. But if you look at, there's an east-west gate to our Angkor Thom, and here it is. Here's north and south. Here's east-west. And here's that secret gate. Or here's the secret gate. Yeah, no, the top one was. Okay, and so a mandala is an Indian concept about circles within squares. So here's a circle within a square. And the idea is that one journeys from the outside to the center, they leave suffering behind and they get to joy. So on all three of these, Lakshmana, Angkor Wat, and the city of Angkor Thom, people would go from the outside to the center. So the function of both of Angkor Wat and Angkor Thom is that the Angkor Wat is a temple to Vishnu, and Angkor Thom is a great city for King Jayavarman VII. And both of these are about politics, connecting the leaders or the leaders to God so that they can rule in the Angkor dynasty using Hinduism and then Buddhism.